Well, hello there. Welcome to listening to this video or watching this video today. Thank you so much for taking the time. Not going to take a whole lot of your time. I just want to be able to share some of the facts with you today about this opportunity. I'm sure you were asked to watch this by somebody who would love to work with you, or maybe you were just interested in the business and wanted to learn a little bit more about it. I ask that you actually have an open mind while you're thinking through it. I know that for myself, I was very, very skeptical. And I think that blocked me from doing this earlier than I did. And so I want to encourage you to just really listen with an open mind and listen to the opportunity. Try to see if it fits within your life. And if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. So either way, we're happy. We love you. Nothing's going to change. Who am I? I want to tell you, I am Christy. I am actually a sales director in Mary Kay. I'm probably your consultant sales director, possibly, or I'm in their life somehow. But I am in the top 2% of the company as a leader, and I just love that I have that awesome opportunity to lead some amazing women. I used to be a retail store manager. I've also done a lot of leadership positions within my careers. I'm not going to tell you my age because that's just wrong. But I've had a lot of great experience, and I will tell you that this has been one of the greatest experiences for me, and I'm excited to retire within this Mary Kay company. We have some great retirement programs, which are awesome. Won't go into them today, but I definitely would love to share those with you as well. Today, I really want to focus on a few different things that really matter. One is the product. The product is phenomenal. I have to tell you, I like to sell. I will be honest with you. I do like to sell. It's something that kind of comes a little bit natural to me, but it doesn't come natural to everybody. And so I have a couple things for my personality. Like, I'm very introverted. And so I typically am not somebody who would seem to be doing something like Mary Kay, but I love that it goes along with so many different personalities. You just fit it within your personality. And so what I do is I suggestive sell. And so I use the products, and I'm the best, product demonstrator there is. And so you are too, like whoever, you are the best salesperson for yourself. So you just want to make sure that you're using the products. And so when you use the products, you'll have people who compliment you. And so here's the thing, you could be a customer and somebody can compliment you, and you can send them our direction, and we're going to make money from that customer. But if you're a consultant and you're a representative, you actually can be the one that makes that money. I always say, like, you suggest things for Target, but Target does not. When your friend goes and buys the same shirt, you don't get a cut of that check. So it's really neat that in Mary Kay, that's kind of how we work things. We just suggestively sell. So I've been doing Mary Kay for 4.5 years now. When I started, I didn't have a lot of time. Like I said, I was a retail store manager in a small store, so I didn't have a lot of staff, but it was a really successful store. So we were pretty busy, and it was in the Christmas season, so that's kind of crazy. But I needed something a little bit different. One was for pay. It felt like every time that I had my 3% raise, our income would raise 6%. I mean, our bills would raise 6%. So it was like, you just never could get ahead. And so I just wanted to do something that was going to bring in a little extra money so that my family could do some fun things. I also wanted some achievement because I was kind of at the top of my game. I wasn't going to move anywhere anytime soon. We had just moved, and I just had, I wanted something that was going to feel like an achievement. I'm an achiever by nature. I love to win. I love to go to the top of whatever I'm doing. And so I needed something that was going to give me a little bit more of that I had more control over. Because one thing in corporate America that's really hard is you don't have control over those things. You can work really hard for a position, but it really depends on who has to get out of the way, whether or not you're going to get there. And sometimes you'll work really hard for a position, do a position, but never get paid for it or get the title. And so I really wanted to be in control of that. And so that was something that I did. But in my consistency of working about 2 hours a week, and I would say a month and a half into starting, I actually was making about $200 extra a week. And I thought, well, if I could do that with 2 hours, imagine what I could do with, 15 to 20 hours. So I really started praying about whether or not I needed to come home to be with my kids, because that was my dream, is always to be with my kids. But the economy just always didn't have that in mind, I guess I should say. Or my faith in God, I guess maybe that was the problem. I don't know. But I I really just started praying that God would give me the opportunity to come home with my kids at some point and help my husband to be on board with that. And so through praying, one day the door opened, and my husband called me one day and said, I think you should quit your job and let's just give it a shot. You've been doing really good in Mary Kay. Why don't we just give a shot and see if this is something that can cover you so that you could be home more. And I think deep down, he probably just wanted me to be able to like come home and clean the house. So it wasn't so dirty all the time. Those of you who work outside the home, oh my gosh, like a constant. But, and there was some things like, I call it the working woman myth, really, if I added up all the money it cost to eat out all the time because I never could cook meals, or the cost of daycare, all these different things that I was paying, I really wasn't pulling in a very large income anyway. So if I cut those things out, I'd actually like have an income boost right there. And not to mention, I worked in a really cute fashion store. And so my spending habit would be different too. So that right there was an income. But anyway, it was just really neat to be able to have the choice. And so I decided 6 months later to quit my full-time job. I figured I could always go back to that job, but I needed to take a chance and see. I am a firm believer that if you don't make a change, nothing changes. So that was something that I needed to take a shot on so that I wasn't later on going, oh my gosh, I'm sure there could have been a better time. I'm sure there could have been a better circumstances, anything, but again, if you don't take a chance on something, you'll never know. And so I didn't want to be one of those you'll never know people. And so I ended up quitting. And then my first month of working Mary Kay full-time, I actually replaced my full-time income. And I was shocked. I didn't have any team members. I should have had team members, but I didn't. I only had time, like I said, 2 hours a week. And I didn't have, I had a couple, but they weren't really doing much. And, so I ended up, it was all my personal sales, and I didn't know a lot of people because I worked a lot. So it was just really acquaintances, and this product just sells. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's such a phenomenal product. I have people who look for me, contact me. Like the other night I had $100 order, on my website from someone out of state. And so I made money from that order, and I didn't even have to do anything. And that was pretty awesome. So, I loved it. And then all I had to do was really transfer my skills over from one job to the next. And as long as you work this business and you work it, like a job in a sense, like where you give it the respect that you would give an employer, you actually can do very, very well in this business. Many people have. Have there been people who have not been successful? Absolutely. But that's in any job. The job you have right now, there's people who haven't been successful, but you wouldn't base your decision based on the people who weren't successful. We would never have a job if that was the case. We'd never go to certain places because every place, if it's been open for 10 minutes, has had failures. So I definitely recommend this. Now, I've earned cars. I've earned diamond rings, other prizes. I'm not very prize motivated, but I will tell you, if you are, the prizes in this business are phenomenal. Like, the company really, really takes care of you. And I am a firm believer that if you want to give me a prize, I will take it. So I'm not going to say no. I will take the prize. So I love that. So we do have our car program, like I said. So you can either take the car, you can take cash. We have so many programs, and we have bonus programs, and it's just awesome. So the first way that you can make money in our business, obviously, is by selling the products. Like I said, they jump off your shelf as long as you're working, which is awesome. I can't keep some stuff stocked. Like, it's awesome, like how fast things can sell, especially when you're in a pinch and you have a certain bill. You're like, like my husband lost his job last month, and so I was like, oh man, I had to cover things for the last month plus a little bit more. We've been, paying things down and off, and so it was just kind of crazy. But I love that all I had to do was just work my business, and I could make a little extra money. So the freedom is really a big deal. Another thing too that I think is really important about our company is our founder, Mary Kay Ash. She's actually a real woman. So that's always great. It's not like Betty Crocker, which is not a real woman. So I love that her heart for women to enrich women's lives was so pure and so awesome that she wanted to really enhance their lives without them and give them an income opportunity where they didn't have to sacrifice their family along the way. Because whether or not you enjoy working outside the home, or maybe you don't have to work, but you're on one income, I mean, there's sacrifices in everything. And the last thing that I want to have sacrificed is my kids. That's a big deal to me. I do not want my kids to be sacrificed. So that was a really great thing that I got to come home and be with them for that. So like I said, 4 years later, I've moved across the country. I had a sister a couple years ago that was really, really ill, and she had brain cancer. And I was able, with this job, I was able to actually travel back and forth from California to Utah, to California to Utah, back and forth to be able to be with her and help take care of her. And that's a huge thing. Like, that's a really big deal. So I got to spend that time with her, and I wouldn't have had that if I worked in corporate America. You don't have that type of freedom. So like I said, you earn from product sales, and as long as you're putting the product on faces, that's what matters. And so nowadays with Facebook and Instagram and samples and everything else, there's so many ways that you can do that. You don't even have to leave your home if you didn't want to, but obviously doing that is much better to find some great people. But you can sell the products. You actually purchase them from the company, and you purchase them for half of what you sell them for. So you purchase them at wholesale, you sell them at retail, everything else is in between is yours, and that's 50%. So basically, like this lip gloss here, I purchase it from the company for $7.50. I sell it to a customer for $15. So everything in between is mine. Isn't that awesome? So that $7.50 is in my pocket. So if I have a bill that needs to be paid, I know how much I need to sell in order to get that. That doesn't depend on anybody else. That just depends on completely my personal sales and how much work I am willing to do. Like I said, my husband lost his job. You know, he didn't know he was going to lose that job. We think that that's a stable income. We think that that's a stable thing when you have a corporate job, but not always. You never know. Every person who has been, let go, fired, laid off, anything, they didn't know that they were going to be that way. I mean, most of them probably didn't know. So, it's not as stable as we try to make it. But I know in my job, if I wake up the next day and I'm willing to do my job, I will have a job. And I love that stability for my family. That gives me security. That makes me feel better. I love the fact that it's a plan B as well, because you never know what can happen. Like I said, lost job, but you never know. Like my husband, if something were to happen to him, I would be able to still support my children. Like, that's a big deal. It's like that plan B. The time that you don't want to find a plan B is when you need a plan B. So it's so good to start and have that now. So I would really, I encourage you that you think about those type of things, because that income can make a huge difference for your family if some tragedy did happen. You never know. You just never know, unfortunately. But you do make 50% of everything that you sell. There's no fluctuation in that. It is a straight 50% commission. Now, there's a second way to make income in Mary Kay, and that is to team build. You don't have to, but it's a great way to have the company pay you for the success of other people. Now, one reason I really love that is because as I am selling to people, I am able to help other people make that 50% income. And as they're making that 50% income, the company is paying me an additional percentage. And so I love that. They pay me, being in that top 2%, I make up to 26% of how much my team does. And that is a huge thing. And that comes from Mary Kay. That does not come from their check. They get theirs always. It's 50% no matter what. So I do love that. There are other avenues of income in our business, but I'm not going to confuse you on those right now, and plus it would take too long, and I said it would be short. So I'm going to move forward, and the last thing that I want to share with you is our starter kit, okay? Actually, not last thing, second to last thing is our starter kit. Our starter kit, if you can see, I'm going to try to angle the camera over that way. That's our starter kit. Every time that I pull that out of the box, I am always like shocked at how much comes in that. You get over $400 of regular full-size products. That's better deal than I can get as a consultant. So I think it's like kind of like an awesome Groupon. It's really great. But the cool thing is it gives you an opportunity for $100 to see if something will work for you. There's no quotas, there's no territories. There is, it's just, I mean, it's easy. I always tell people, you know, give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, you just go right back into the customer base. It's not a big deal. So you're not like signing your life away, none of that stuff. But it is super awesome to have the, like I said, second income or even a first income with that. If you're a single mom, it's a great opportunity for you to be home with your kids and still provide an excellent income. Like, I think about going back to corporate America, and I think I couldn't even work for the wages that corporate America offers me. And I definitely couldn't do it for the price, like the same income at all. Like, I make a really good income. So, and I have a lot of control over that, like I said. So that's a really good thing. That's a dream come true for me. My mission is to help women. I love to be able to work with women. I actually went to school to be in ministry, women's ministry, but quickly found that was probably not going to be an income source. And so I started working in retail and all those different things, and did as best I could to carry over my passion and my heart for women in ministry. But, you know, with my Mary Kay, I get to do that fully. And I love the fact that this is my ministry. This is where God's called me. Right now, I feel really called to help younger women to pursue a career that can help them before they have a family, that they can start setting themselves up for a family, helping other women who have a family and need to come home with their family, or even women who just need the extra income so that they can help their family, you know, have a better life. And so there's so many things that we can offer in this business, but those are really my heart. That's where my mission is. I really want to make sure to give my all to help those women and teach and train and get them to be successful in this business. And so that is something that I love as well. I'm trying to think. There was one more thing. Well, there's a lot of reasons why people start a business. I mean, it could be because of friends. It could be because of the flexibility, being your own boss, prizes. Like I said, income is probably the number one. You get to do it your own way. A lot of people don't believe this about me because I have good people skills, but I am extremely introverted. I am a homebody. I love being able to work from home. Like right now, nobody is home, and I like my alone time. I really do. It's kind of my happy place, and I love being with my family. I love all of that. I have some extroverts in my family, so I'm like, my son is introverted, and my daughter's extroverted, and my husband is more extroverted. So I'm like, I need my alone time. But the nice thing is that you can do this business. Doesn't matter what your personality is. You could do this business and be successful. And I get to work it the way I want, especially with all of the ways that we can work our business now, like with social media. I just started doing Facebook parties, so I've been teaching a lot of people how to do that. You know, a lot of bricks and mortar stores are closing down, so people are all going to direct sales. That's why there's so many companies out there. It's just a matter of finding the company that's best for you. And you guys, this is just phenomenal. One thing I do like too, I'll share with you, is the products are consumable. So every night people wash it down the drain and they come back to you. And I will tell you, it is like, I have like customers that laugh and say it's kind of like crack because like they really literally, like, if you don't have it, you feel it. Like, you're like, I need my skincare. And it's not super expensive, so it's not like it, you know, breaks the bank. So there's so many different income brackets that can use it. Like, it's not based on like, oh, you have to be wealthy in order to use it. It's really great. And so that is something that I love too. But like I said, any personality, you get to work it from home. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's just really an awesome career opportunity. So what I want you to do is I'm going to have you actually text your consultant. And this is going to show her that, one, you did finish the video. So if she doesn't get text, she's not going to think you finished the video. So you got to make sure you text her. The other thing too is that it's going to really show us where you stand, because one thing that I want to make sure of is that I follow up with you if you are interested in having a little bit more information information, I want to be able to get that to you. And if you're not interested and you just absolutely don't feel like this is something for you, then I want to thank you for your time and just personally introduce you to our products. And so I just want to make sure that either way that you get to have a blessed, experience. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to give me a number. You can't say 5 because 5 is right down the middle and it totally confuses me and I have no clue where to go with that. 1 is that you would rather eat rocks or chip away at rocks in the Mojave Desert than ever do Mary Kay. Like if your family was starving, you still wouldn't do Mary Kay, which is pretty intense. So that is a 1. A 10 is, you know what? It's $100. I spend $100 at Walmart like nothing else. I have nothing to show for it. I'm going to give you $100 and we are going, or not me, but you're going to purchase it from the company and we're going to go ahead and give it a shot and see if it works. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't, I'll just become a customer after that as well, and somebody else's customer or my own. So that 10 is just like, let's give it a shot. Let's do it. 1 is I would rather do anything but Mary Kay, and it's a never, ever, ever a 1. And 5, you can't say, like I said, because it thoroughly confuses me. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say your interest level lies at this point? And that way we can get back to you. So you better make sure that you do send a text or a message to your consultant with that number. Or like I said, she's not going to think that you did it. She's not going to get credit, and neither are you if there is a prize hanging in the balance. And if there's not a prize, tell her that she needs to give you a prize. But I didn't say that. Just kidding. But we really appreciate you doing this, and we really appreciate you listening to this opportunity. And I can't wait to get to know you better. Like I said, whether as a future team member of ours or as a client of myself or a consultant that I work with. So I'm excited to get to know you either way. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fabulous day. Enjoy it and have a blessed night. Bye.